Hey guys, welcome back to the Ride Out Waxing channel. Now, second set of skis. Now these are a lovely lady called Helen who reached out to me, and I did the husband's skis, which were on the previous video, which are those Salomon X-Wing, awesome ski. Had a bit of a course shot, so if you want to know how to repair a course shot on a ski, it's only a very small one, but I just take you through that. So if you're interested, flip over to the previous video and check that out. But yeah, Atomic Limited E skis. These were, I think, a 148. Yes, they are indeed. Austrian made, matching bindings. I have actually just checked the DIN settings, as I always do, to make sure they match up. So we've got a solid 5 on the front, we've got a 28 and a 28, and on the rear this one is slightly out, so we're just going to crank that one up so we are matching. There we go, 5. This one was more on a 4.5, and that was on a 5, just to make sure that both skis feel the same, because when you put them down you can actually put them on both feet. They're not obviously left-handed and right-handed, so it's always very much an important thing to make sure that your DIN settings, both front and rear, are the same, and that way then unless you've got a weaker knee, then you really want to put kind of a sticker on one so you know that's your left ski, etc. And it's always a good way to check which side your foot is heavier. Now these are quite evenly balanced. You get a lot more wear sometimes on the one ski than you do the other. But yeah, other than that, these are a lovely little ski. We're going to polish up the top coat. There is no damage like they were on those X-Wings, so there's no course shots as such to get done on the top. Having said that, I've just noticed there is one just there, so I am going to put a bit of P-Tex, not P-Tex, what am I on about, epoxy in there, just sealing that in, because these have been stored, they're nice and dry, and we don't want any moisture seeping into the top of the ski, delaminating it. The base though is very good. We've got quite a long deep mark here. This has had a P-Tex mark before, and it actually has taken out some of the P-Texes, fell out, so we're going to de-wax this ski with some cleaning solution to make sure that channel's nice and dry. We're going to warm it up with a hairdryer, and then we're going to lay some fresh P-Tex just down in that long groove which is just there. And this ski isn't too bad neither at all. So kind of a general service, but more importantly we're going to get the edges nice and sharp. So I'm going to pop you my hand and we're going to have a quick detailed look at these skis. So here we are. Base of skis not too bad. We obviously have got the standard corrosion on the skis, as you can see just here. We're going to get those detailed and tidied up. I've got a bit of base scraping just to reduce some of these high marks. We've got a little bit of a nick just there, but that's nothing really to worry about. I will just drop a little P-Tex in there, but you can see the rails themselves, they aren't actually that sharp on this set, but we'll make sure we get those turned around. But they are quite rusty, as you can see, and you can see where obviously the engineering shop's obviously done a base scrape on this, which is good because there's plenty of texture in the bottom of the ski. That's all those little lines, which is good. That gives the ski some float. But you can see where the P-Tex has fell out here and here and here. But we're going to fill that up, and just up here as well. That there's not too bad. That will base scrape. So we're going to leave some material on the ski, and this other one going across is very shallow, as you can hear, but that one there's a little bit deeper, so we'll kind of concentrate on that one, and again just get rid of some of this corrosion and these chatter marks here where the skis rub. But I've got a great solution when parceling these back up and sending them back to the customer, so before they hit the snow it won't have any of these marks on, which is really good. So there we are, one set of skis. Let's get on and detail these bad boys. fantastic. That PTEX has gone lovely into that ski. You can hardly see actually where it's actually been applied, which is exactly what we want. We always now base scrape from the tip of the ski to the tail of the ski. It's actually quite dry, this ski. It's quite what I call fluffy. So we've got multiple different sharpeners, and now we're just going to drag that down through the ski and basically try and get rid of all the marks. Then we're going to copper brush it all the way down through, putting structure back in the ski, albeit there is quite a bit in there already, but it's surprising actually how much dead material has come off already, and that's all this black stuff at the end of the table just up here. Which is basically what you want to get rid of. So you're opening up the base of that ski so the actual material is fresh and clean, so it can absorb that wax and last as long as possible. So back to time lapse, back to music. We're just going to base scrape this one, then I'm going to lay some wax down. The edges are lovely and sharp. We've dull and tipped the ends, which is fantastic. I will just run over those with a gummy stone just before I lay the wax down. And this ski's done, and that can sit in the hot room, and then we'll work on the second ski and get that looking ship shape, and then we'll whip it all off and polish it up, and hopefully you'll be very impressed. So stay tuned and let's crack on with this ski. Edges are all done, tipped and tailed, and we've dulled those edges to reduce any catching then when obviously in those little tram lines coming on the flat bits before the lift, etc. The base is quite dry, it's quite fluffy. I don't know if you can actually see this here. Let me just pop it out the stand a second. I always go from the tip again to the tail when base scraping, but you can just see the dullness in the base there, that very light grey. That is all the dead material on the base of this ski, and as you can see just there is a little bit just here, this bit here. This is what I've already started to take off. So what we've got to try and do now is pull all that dead material off the base of the ski, opening up the base to the fresh material so the wax can absorb in, but also making it lovely smooth so it's nice and fast, and obviously performs well. Now necessarily you don't need a fast ski to be the fastest skier on the mountain, but where performance in the ski really comes into its own is when you hit those plateau parts and you've got a basically straight line before then descending down another slope or traversing across from a green to a red to a black, etc. And that's where you do need the speed. We want the ski to be able to hold its speed, so you can obviously get across those areas really, really easily. And that's why this bit is so important, to get that ski extremely smooth. We then use that copper brush to put the structure in the ski, which lifts it and puts an air pocket underneath, and makes the ski perform really, really well. So we're going to go ahead and just basically base scrape. This is nice and sharp now, and we're going to get this material off, and it's keeping it nice and flat around about a 20-degree angle, and we just go down the ski, working our way across like so. And we build up material on the edge of the blade like so, and obviously also on the ski, and already you can see a coloration change here to this part down here, and that's where you need to get it to. It takes quite a bit of work, it's quite a bit of time, hence why time lapse probably for you guys takes me quite a lot longer than a time lapse, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to get the base of the ski absolutely tip top, ready to absorb that wax. So let's crack on, put some tunes on, and I'll see you in a sec. On to the final part of the video. This is the Atomic, obviously, limited e-skis, and yeah, these skis are quite furry at the bottom, quite a lot of dead material we took off, a little bit of P-texing to be done, but the edges were quite rusty, especially on the side rails, which we've actually tidied that up. We've done and tipped the ends, and now we're on to the best bit. So, a little bit like the Salomon X-Wings that I've recently done, which are the partner skis to these, they come up superbly well. There's a course shot again on that one, if I mentioned earlier. If you haven't seen that, go across and have a look. The end result is just fantastic, and it just basically means I'm really chuffed that the customer knows that they've got a ski that's going to be sealed and protected and will last a lot longer. So what we're going to be doing, we are going to be getting my favourite scraper and the sharpener. We're going to sharpen this up and basically drag the wax off the base of this ski. So we make little kind of like confetti type wax, basically pulling it all off, leaving obviously no wax to the ski, so you don't want to leave any tacky part. If you've waxed the ski before, you'll feel it to be quite tacky. It's about removing all that wax, and then we machine buff it up with a multiple of brushes, from very hard to very soft, pulling all the wax out the structure of the ski, and basically making it nice and fast. Like we said earlier, it's all about those flat areas. It's not necessarily about going flat out all the time. And performance is key. We've got a good edge, so if you hit the ice and you're on something very steep, like a black or something, and you want that security, it's nice to have that sharp edge. You know, you can hold it, so you can just obviously take a breath and reform your thoughts, and then turn around and crack on. Anyway, talking of cracking on, let's get on with these skis, and I'll see you in a bit. So there we are, one set of awesome Atomic E-Limited skis. These have come up superbly well. We had that big, I'm trying to find it now, that big gouge all the way down through this ski here, and I think you'll agree, we've got that filled in lovely. There's no deviation on there now at all. The ski itself, if I can get the light onto it, there we go, it's lovely and flat. And we've got no gouges at all. These have come up superbly well. Superbly well. Really pleased with these. Really pleased. The edges are nice and sharp. We've got all that rust off. We've done and tipped the ends. These things are ready to fly. Absolutely ready to fly. And that's another set done, guys. So don't forget, hit that like, hit that subscribe, share with your friends, comment, do whatever you like. But yeah, go across and check out other bits that I'm doing with my car. But until the next set of skis in the Radrock Waxing Workshop, I will wish you well, and I'll see you soon.